To one male and one female, junior or senior, who combine academic achievement, athletics achievement, and outstanding community service. The Reverend Carl M. Reinert, S.J. Female Scholar Athlete of the Year is Megan Bober. Megan is an exercise science major with a 3.82 grade point average. She is the most decorated volleyball player in school history. Was an All-American this year in volleyball, also an academic All-American. First Creighton player to be named Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year. The first Creighton player to be named most valuable player in the tournament, in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. She is a three-time first-team Missouri Valley Conference selection, helped Creighton volleyball to their first regular season title, first conference tournament title, and first time finishing in the top 25 in the country. Besides her academic and volleyball accomplishments, Megan is very involved in community service. She has been involved with the Sienna Francis House, Just Read program, Blue Jay Buddies, Night Out with the Jays, Children's Hospital, Abide Network, many volleyball clinics, amongst many other things. She's also looking for a job. So if anybody here has an opportunity to hire and you don't hire this girl, I'd have to question whether you're going to be successful. Megan Bober, get up here. I'm going to take this back to you.
Okay. Thank you. The first thing that I did when Coach Booth told me about this honor was think of every excuse possible to convince Bruce that we shouldn't do speeches this year. And I think Ethan would have backed me up. Unfortunately, I couldn't come up with any reasonable excuses, so here I am. To give you an idea of how much anxiety this speech caused me, I had a dream a couple nights ago that I woke up and the banquet had been moved to 6 a.m. that morning, and I had to leave right then to make it on time. I showed up in a bathrobe, my hair not brushed, and I had no speech prepared, but everyone else was at the banquet dressed and ready to go, and like it was perfectly normal. I turned to Coach Booth and asked her what I was going to do because I wasn't prepared, and I looked like a complete fool, but she said I still had to do it. Luckily tonight, I managed to get dressed, and I at least have a little bit of something prepared. It's been a blessing to be part of the Creighton volleyball team in this university. I feel fortunate to have been a part of many historic events that have happened during my time here, including the building and first ever game in the Ryan Center and DJ Sokol Arena, the Rasmussen Center, historic and record-breaking seasons for the volleyball program, and now the beginning steps of the new basketball facility, as well as the move to the Big East, just to name a few. This university is ever-growing and a truly amazing place. I'd like to first thank Father Lannon. His constant support of the student body, and specifically the athletics department, has created a positive culture that's unique to Creighton. It's very rare but special to see a president be able to relate to his students the way that he has. Next, I want to thank Bruce Rasmussen. From the day I stepped on campus for an unofficial visit, I've never been so impressed by a man's character and poise. I'll always remember being at 6 a.m. morning conditioning when we were all a little grumpy and exhausted, and Ras would walk in the weight room with a smile, giving high fives or pats on the back. His spirit is infectious, and it would light the room, giving the encouragement we needed to finish the last set. Thank you for all the work you've done for our program and the department and the athletic department as a whole. Much of our success is a result of the work you've done. To give you a little bit of a background on where I'm from a tiny town in Nebraska, and that might be an over-exaggeration. My town isn't along any major roadways or has no claim to fame, so there's really no reason why you would go there unless you live there. Now, I'm not quite sure how my high school coach convinced Coach Booth to come to the middle of nowhere, Murdoch, Nebraska, to watch a girl play who no one had ever even heard of before, but I'm glad that she agreed. I have much to thank Coach Booth for, and it's been quite a journey filled with ups and downs, but I've grown both as a player and a person. Thank you for always having an open door, being a great coach, and the opportunity to be a Blue Jay. I also need to thank the rest of the coaching staff. I'm glad I was able to work with Coach Mendoza the last few years of my career, and only wish I could have trained with you longer. I developed tremendously as a player when you arrived, and can attribute much of my progress to your instruction. Angie, thanks for being the crutch and glue to this program. You are always a calming presence and a great role model, both on and off the court. This journey would not have been the same without my teammates. I want to thank my teammates, both past and present. It's amazing that 15 girls who spend this much time together don't kill each other, but I couldn't have picked a better group of girls to spend my last year with. My senior year was by far the most fun, and I'll never forget the memories that we shared. Thankfully, throughout my career, I didn't have to spend a lot of time in athletic training, but when I did, I made sure to make it count. Thank you to all the staff, and Megan specifically, for all the work that you have done to keep myself and everyone else on the court as much as possible. I owe a special thank you to Dr. Ramos. Whenever I needed something, he always came to my rescue, whether it be a pregame IV or a midgame IV for that matter, or a few 40 stitches in my shin. He always came to my aid with a smile. I thought that I had a pretty cool story when I split my shin open and saw my own tibia, but unfortunately for him, Kevin Ware decided to put my injury to shame. There are many aspects of being a student athlete and many people working behind the scenes to make this experience as special as it is. These people may not often get the credit they deserve, but there are a few people I'd like to thank. I want to thank Brad and the rest of the strength and conditioning staff for the work that they have done to help us perform at a high level. I had 4 different strength coaches through my career at Creighton, and I'm happy to say that Brad was by far the best. I also want to thank the academic advising staff, sports information, marketing, and other faculty and support staff for all that you do for us. Thank you to Brandon, Zach, and the facilities team. I know the volleyball team can be quite a handful for you, but we always appreciate you laying down sport court and having the gym ready for practices and games. And I also want to thank you for the random games of pig or 2-on-1 volleyball that we'd play before practice to keep me entertained. And for the record, I always won those. Speaking of the facility, I could not have been more blessed to call the Ryan Center my home for the last 4 years. Having this facility is a huge asset to Creighton volleyball, and I want to thank everyone who is involved in the fundraising, design, and construction of this project. A special thank you to Connie Ryan, who was heavily involved in making this project happen. Being part of the Creighton and Omaha community has been extremely rewarding. It's amazing how much this community cares for and supports its athletes, and I have a quick story to share. Shortly after our season, I received a message from a member of the community who's a huge Blue Jay fan and has a daughter who participates in many Blue Jay events and camps. The message read, "Megan, congratulations on a great season. It was fun watching you guys this year, and we're glad we were able to make it to so many games. My daughter certainly looks up to you, probably more than you realize. Thanks for having such a positive impact on her." And this is my favorite part. "I would guess you're her favorite Blue Jay, even more than Dougie!" Exclamation point, smiley face. I apologize for gloating and the points to show community support, but I had to share the moment when I could say I beat the Doug McDermott at something. Before I forget, I need to thank both my mom and dad for all their support. They're here tonight, and both of them were able to make every single game this fall, including our season opener in Tampa, Florida, which meant traveling on a plane. And to most people, that doesn't sound like a big deal, but my mother had never been on a plane before, and my dad has a strong fear of flying. Thank you both for all the sacrifice you've made for me to be where I am today. And I also need to thank Rick Welch and Marion Gyra, who are here today as well, and actually got back from Kansas City an hour ago just to make it here. They've taken me under their wing and treated me pretty much like a daughter and been supportive of me throughout this entire journey. Finally, I want to congratulate the Hall of Fame inductees as well as Ethan. You know that you're in good company when you're sitting up here with one of March Madness's hottest guys, a Cosmo Magazine March Hotness selection. Thanks again to the committee for this honor.